Hi everybody, welcome to Card Readings. I'm Margaret. If you like, subscribe and put your thumbs up if you want. Now this YouTube channel one, it's going to be a bit longer than these, but it's worth it. Okay, I'm going to talk about a movie. I will highly recommend anyone to watch this. Okay, it was on Netflix and it was made in 2008. It's a true story and it's called Changes. And this is a fantastic movie. This is what we're going through today, right? So what happened, this was in 1928 in Los Angeles. So this is like 107 years ago, right? May the 10th. And it was about a mother and her young boy called Walter Collins. And the mother went off to work, did a job, came home, realised Walter was gone. So she rings up the police saying, my son's been missing for about 3 hours. The police goes, oh, sorry, we can't do anything. You have to report him missing in 24 hours. You can't do much about it, right? So she waits for 24 hours. That's okay. Then the days comes to weeks comes to months, and there's a police officer sees this young boy, he thinks it's Walter, this lady's son, and in front of the whole newspaper people, I'll say newspaper people back then, he goes, he's your son, and he's nicely says to him, I don't think this is my son. Okay, and he goes, no, this is your son. I know you're going through a hard time. This is your son, right? So she takes him home and realizes certain things not right. Pardon me. Beforehand, when Walter was home, Mum, he will shoot her and he will go to a wall at the door and measure him. So what the lady did with this young boy, took him to this wall, measuring, and realized was 3 inches shorter in water. And there's other stuff. So she goes to the police, says, this is not my son, yada, yada, yada. Takes him back home because the police say, yeah, it is your son. The doctor comes in, looks at him, says, this is your son. I know you're going through a hard time, but these are the reasons why he's changed, yada, 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 that kind of stuff. So, the reverend or the priest, I don't know if he's a priest or a reverend, but he's about this story. So he talks to the mother saying, you have rights here, right? So she goes, okay. So she goes to the dentist, look at the teeth and go, yeah, this is not your son. I'm happy to put this down on paper for you, right? So she goes to the school, teacher says the same thing. The teacher goes, go to your seat. This boy is meant to be water. And she goes, no, this is not seed. This is not water. I'm happy to put this down, yada, yada, yada. So she goes to the police, the same police officer who thinks this boy is water, right? Go, this is not water, I've got proof, right? So the police officer goes to her, you sound like you're unstable, you sound like you don't think this boy is your son, you're not listening to me. So we're going to put you into institution. Yeah. We're going to put you into an institution and you're going to stay there till you know this is your boy and we're right, kind of thing, right? So that's okay. So she goes in, and I'll get into the details later, but she goes in and she gets introduced to a lady and she tells her story to this mother. I won't get into detail. The adults will know what I'm talking about here, so I'm just going to say how I'm going to put it. It's not the exact word, but I'm going to say it in this way. The lady goes to the mother and says, I got put in here because I would talk to adults to get paid. You adults know what I mean. Yeah. So she goes, they look at each other going, this is not right, right? So that's okay. So, and the doctor's still coming to the mother and saying, this is water, this is your son, yada, yada, yada. And the mother goes, nah, this is not my son. I'm not signing anything. The police, the doctors want her to sign something saying she was wrong and the police is right, kind of thing. And she goes, nah, not going to do it. I know my son, this is not my son, kind of thing. So that's okay. through all this, there's a police officer. He goes to this place. I don't know what he's looking for. I don't know if he's looking for a person or something, alright? But instead of finding these things, he sees this young boy. He brings this young boy back to the police station, and he has a story to tell the police. And the story goes kind of like this line where there's a guy going out and killing all kids, at least 20 kids, and he was involved with it. This boy was involved with it. He's really upset about this. He doesn't want to go to Canada, but that's not the reason why he's telling this story. It's just get this off his chest, kind of thing, this boy's chest. So the boy goes, yep, this is what happened. So they know they got a serial killer, right? So what happens, the police goes through, okay, I'm going to show you some photos here. Put the pictures that you know, the people that you know, you've seen, put the face up. So this is what he's doing. And there was about 16 photos that the boys recognised, right? And one of the boys, they realised one of the boys is Walter Collins, the boy who went missing. And the mum's looking for him, and she's in the mental institution. So this police officer rings up this other police officer, the police above in the institute, say, I think we got the wrong kid here. I got a picture of I got a boy who's telling me a story about killing other kids, right? So that's okay. Everyone hears this is across the paper, yada yada yada, because the police would take the boy back to this place and say, okay, where did you bury him, kind of thing, yeah. So they got this all across the newspaper. The police must have gotten this at this stage, because next minute you hear that the mother's in the hospital talking to the doctor and saying, no, this boy is not my boy. Water's still missing. You have to look for my boy, kind of thing. The doctor's trying to get her to sign something. He goes, you need to sign this. And she goes, nope, I'm not signing it. And he goes, well, I'm going to have to let you go. So she goes off, leaves the hospital, and gets again introduced to this referent guy. And the referent guy helps her with the situation. So through all this, there's a guy, he's a serial killer. He was living at this place. He goes back to his sister, and she knew he was doing these kind of things, but don't know how big it was, because he comes home to his sister's house, and then says, and the husband says, you have to go next door, and the husband rings up the police to say, this guy's had their house, right? So the police comes and picks him up. And yeah, so all this is happening. So next minute, you know, they're at the court, arresting the guy. The thing, he's the one that got Walter. They don't know if he killed Walter or not, but they know he had Walter. So that's kind of where it ends. We all know the end of the story is that the guy got hanged, but they don't know what happened to Walter. In the institute, they had to let go all of the patients. That was one of the things they went to jail, court about, that the institute was doing the wrong thing, and they wanted to let the guys go, right? So that happened. So it's really interesting, this story. That's kind of where it ended. So the reason I'm putting this out there, and I will highly recommend you guys to watch this movie. It's a really good movie. Yes, it's a 2.5 hour movie, but there's a lot of stuff in this. And there's another reason, but I won't get into it, because I just want you guys to watch this. It's one of the biggest things I found is this one lady, the mother. She believed it so much, she went through hell and back for this. What she went through in the institution, and what she went through with the police, yeah, she went through hell and back because of what she believed in, okay, and she made things changes, and I think that's where the movie name came from, Changes, because she made a lot of changes. She got the institution to let go of the patients that didn't need to be in there. The lady who talks to the to the male people for pay, they had to let her go because that wasn't a good enough reason to put her into an institution. So she went through hell. Like when she got there, and this is a typical mental institution thing when it comes to 1928, yeah. She went in the nurses stripped her, maybe the doctor, I'm not quite sure, stripped her down to nothing, threw her in the shower, and this is a typical thing in that time, got a hose, not a shower hose, an actual hose that you use for the garden, and hose her down. And then on top of that, a nurse got in between her legs and just felt around that kind of area. I won't get into it, there's kids around, but you know what I mean if you're an adult. You know what I mean? So she went through hell and back for this. And so I give her credit for it. I mean, yeah. So this is why I want to put this out there. So she made the institution change. The whole story behind. I'm going to do a little bit of background with institution. I did a disability course and we'll learn a bit about it. In the early 90s, I will say up to about 40s, 50s, you could be thrown into an institution for no reason. I would say to people, because if I was 10 years older, because I had dyslexia and I had a seizure when I was 16, I could have easily been thrown into an institution because of just that, okay? And it was an institution, it doesn't matter if you had a health issue, you go out and lash out on someone, like you bash someone up, okay? Dyslexia, um, talking to people, whatever, you were all put together. It wasn't as specific. Okay, a disability, one thing, mental illness, another place, and then you have your autism in one place. You didn't have that. You were all put together. That's how it was, okay? Up to about 2016 to about 2080, it's changed. You were kind of put in certain areas. Like you had, back then they had two types of institutions, one for mental illness and one for disability. And that's where here in Australia we have like Urella, two colleges, and another two or three here in Victoria, okay? They're all closed now, but yeah, they used to have about five different institutions. I think two of them were for mental illness and the rest was disability, right? And that was all. And if you have a disability, you needed medication. So, because I had dyslexia, I needed medication. Yeah, that's how bad it was, okay? And you couldn't teach someone, but you can go out in the gardens and pull up weeds and put up vegetables, but you couldn't teach anyone, right? So that's how it was up to 1980. 1980s, that's where it completely changed, where they were trying, they're trying to look into closing down all the institutions. I think they have one or two, maybe one kind of like an institution where you have to have major issues, major problems. I don't mean just going out and say, you have seizures every day, so you go into an institution. It was major issues, okay? It's almost like, I would say, I can't explain it. You have to have major issues to go into this institution. So you couldn't just go into a place, okay? And then you have to go through paperwork, the red tape. It's a whole heap of stuff now. So now it's all about learning, teaching people. So it's about if you have autism and you have behaviors with it, you learn to work with it, with your staff and people around you. okay? And that's how it works these days. So you can be taught to do certain things. If you weren't taught how to do it, you have assistance with it, like you have someone to help you with your everyday life. And so yeah, so it's very different back then to now. And I always think of myself, if there wasn't people like this lady who's looking for this young boy, went through hell and back, we would be in the same situation. Yeah. And this is why I'm putting this out there to you. I will highly, highly recommend this movie for you. Yes, it's longer, like I said, but it's a really good movie. And with the whole theory behind the police, how much that's changed since then and what it's like now. It's changed so much. I mean, some missing kids, you don't have to wait 24 hours. And with LH, you don't have to wait for 24 hours. Some of them you do, like for whatever reason. Sometimes you have to, but most of the time you don't, okay? So this is why I'm putting this out there. And I'm hoping this makes sense to you later on. And I'm hoping that you guys do watch this movie because it's a really good movie in so many different ways. The other thing I want to put out there, I am going to do some acts and Julia Care, standards and all that out there because it helps with what I'm saying here. Well, this YouTube thing will help with what I'm doing with what I'm going to do next. Because I can tell you why I'm doing this, but I don't think you guys will understand it. So if you watch this movie and listen to what I'm saying and watch my acts and all that, you understand where this is all coming from. When I watched this movie, it made me more want to do it. I wanted to do it earlier in the year, like about 6 months ago. But once I watched this movie, it made me more want to do it. So this is where this is coming from. So I might do a reading once a month or once a week on this YouTube channel, and we have something fun. But once a week, I'm going to talk to you about acts, standards, dual care, anything related to the legal rights of people. Okay, I know some of you can kind of leave over this, but I'm okay with it because what we're going through right now, a lot of it is not right, and I'll go through that later on if you're all with it. But pardon me, I hope this has helped you with what you want to do and how you want to do things. Okay, I'm just gonna leave this story with you right now because this can go on and on and on and on. I'm a real advocate for doing the right thing. Okay, and this is what this is about. So I hope you like it. Really, if you do watch, I will highly, highly recommend this movie to anyone. It's not just about missing people, but it's about having a say and having a right, and it's a right thing. It's not like because I'm older than you have to listen to me. It's not like that. It's about my boy's missing. You need to do something about it. This lady shouldn't be in an institution because she talks to other people, males, then get paid for it. That's not right. So it's that kind of stuff. I hope you watch this movie for that kind of stuff. Because it kind of lay out with a whole heap of other stuff, and I'm hoping you all watch this for that reason. It's a really good movie. Like I said, it's on Netflix. I think it's on YouTube, and it's got change, and I'll put it down underneath it for you so you know what I'm talking about. It is a long movie, but it's a fantastic movie. Like I said, subscribe if you want, like if you want, and yeah, I'll see you next time for another YouTube channel. Bye.